I decided to make some pot holders to replace some that I have that are falling apart, basically. And the first thing you need is a heat-proof interfacing to sandwich between two pieces of cotton batting. And this is basically, it's a heat-proof batting. It's whatever you want to call it. It's just kind of a filler. It has cotton and aluminum fibers, I believe, in it. I'll put the links to everything in the description, all the materials that I used. But you need the heat-proof between the two layers of cotton in order to protect your hands from the heat and protect the heat-proof lining from getting too close to the heat so it melts. So that's the reason for that. So this is the cotton batting, and I'm cutting this large because I wanted to have room to work and to trim it down to the right size. So this isn't the final size that it's going to be. It's going to get trimmed. You'll see that in a minute. But we have one piece of the heat-proof in between two pieces of the cotton, and that's going to be the inside of the pot holder. And I did make some of these with just the cotton to see what would happen, and they did not work as well. They got hot very quickly. So you want to make sure that you have the heat-proof batting in between the two cottons, and you'll be good. Now this, again, is not the same size as the final piece will be, but this is what I'm starting large. Okay, so you have that. Now you're going to cut the fabric to fit that on either side. So just get the pieces of fabric, and then you're basically just going to sew the pattern on it. It's kind of quilting a very basic pattern. I did an X just to keep it together. You can do whatever design you want on this. If you want to get really fancy, that's up to you. I just needed to keep it in one piece while I'm working on it. Now this is where you're going to cut the pot holder to the final size that you want it to be, because this is it. You're not doing any hemming. You're just going to add a bias tape to it to do the edge. And you might not want to use your best fabric scissors for this because there is aluminum fiber in that heat-proof batting, and it might make your scissors a little dull. So just keep that in mind. Don't use your best scissors, but use fabric scissors for this so that it's sharp enough to get a good cut and you're not struggling with it, because it is pretty thick when you're cutting all this. So once you have the basic shape, and I made these a little bit bigger than the ones that I had because I wanted them to be a little bit larger. Not super huge, but you're going to cut about a 2.5-inch strip of fabric that's going to go all the way around it. So make sure that it's long enough to go all the way around whatever size you've decided. And I'm using a bias strip maker, but you can just fold this over and iron it if you want to do that. I didn't do any ironing. You can iron this. These are really handy little gadgets. If you don't have one, I'll put the link to everything that I used in the description. But this is a really handy gadget to actually make bias tape. And this is what's going to go around the outside. So you just shove the fabric through there, and when you pull it out, it shapes it into that folded shape. And like I said, you can iron it or not. I didn't bother because I'm just going to sew it. And I was just making these for myself. If you're making these for gifts and you want them to be really precise, then I would go ahead and iron that tape just to keep it in one piece. But I'm going to just wrap this around the edge, and I'm starting a little bit in from the corner. If you want to do a loop on this, you should probably start at the corner, and I'll show you why when we get to the end. But I'm starting a little bit in from the corner because I don't want to loop on them, and I'm just going to curve that around when I come back around the other side, and I'm going to like overlap the edges. So for this, I'm using these little clips instead of pins to keep everything in place, because this is so thick. When I tried to put a pin through it at first, it was way too thick. So I just went and got my quilting clips, and that held everything in place just fine. Just make sure that when you're putting the quilting clips in, you put the flat piece of the clip down so that when you're sewing it, you're going to pull it out and it's easier to remove the clip. But these clips are great, and they just make everything so much easier than having to go through and pin everything. So you're going to go all the way around it, and when you get to the corner, don't pull it too tight, just kind of work it around, and there is going to be a little crease. You can either make that fancy and, even and with a little pleat, or just press it down. Again, I'm making these for myself. I don't care what they look like. I just want them to be functional. But if you're going to make these to give to someone, definitely take the time to make that corner a little more presentable and pretty. But you're just going to work it around and just keep going all the way around the pot holder, cover that whole edge. And when you get all the way around to the other side, you're going to overlap it. But if you want the loop, then I will show you what you can do with that, because this is how you finish it. And this is the point where you need to decide, do I want to have a loop to hang it, or does that matter? So if you do want to do the loop part, you're going to have to extend that bias tape and make it into a loop and then loop it back around. So what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of covering up the other end. I'm covering up the ends with the two. But if you want to make the loop, I'm going to pin this here. If you want to make the loop to hang it, you're going to have to make this a little bit longer. I'm waiting until I do it. Okay, here we go. You're going to make this a little bit longer and just loop this around until you get it to the size that you want, and then bring this back here. And you need to sew that loop shut somehow. So that's going to be another step. And you might have to do that after you do the whole binding, which is kind of a pain. But I don't need loops on it. I'm not going to hang it up. I shove them in a drawer. So I'm just going to fold this end up so that it's not a raw edge. And I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to move this clip to get it out of the way, and just fold this over there so that the folded edge there covers the beginning part of the strip, and it is all done. Okay, so I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just covering it up. And you just tuck up that edge in there like I just did, clip it on there, and then you're going to take it over to the sewing machine and you're going to sew that binding on. This is a super easy project. Okay, if you're a beginning sewer, you can do this. And as I said, if you're making these for other people, practice a little bit. But the important thing is to try to sew this straight if you care. Okay, I didn't care, so I'm just sewing it. I'm just sewing the thing on, and it's a straight stitch. You just take the clips off one by one as you work your way around. You're going to sew the edge of that bias tape, and I know that you can't see it. The light in this machine is too bright, but you're just going to sew it about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the inside edge. And if it turns out that you're not catching both sides, you can always go around and do a second set of stitches. So I did 2 rows of stitching. I sewed it on first, and then I went back and stitched the whole thing again, just to make sure that all the ends were contained and it's not going to unravel. So you can do that. I would say that if you are going to give these to other people, use the same color thread as the fabric so that the stitches are not as obvious, because then if you are a little bit crooked, it's not such a big deal. I'm using a contrasting thread so that you can see what I'm doing when I'm done. And also, I didn't care because I'm just making these for myself. But see, this has been stitched once, and now I'm going to go around it again to make sure that the edges are completely flattened. And this is your final result. So you can see here that the stitches just go all the way around. I've stitched this twice, and you can't really tell, so it's not a big deal, but that's a nice size pot holder. And because of the 3 layers of the insulated batting and the regular cotton batting, these worked really well. I was taking things out of my oven. I didn't get burned. So this is a good project to do, and it's easy, it's fun, and you get something useful out of it.